Hi little berries, it's Eryberrie here. I decided I'm going to call you my little berries. Came up with that while I was editing the last video, but anyway, or was it the last video? I forget. But anyway, this is Sebastian, my one-eyed cat here. When you last saw him in my writing video just over a year ago, he had two eyes. He's had an eye operation since. He's only got the one now, haven't you, mate? You have, you good boy. I firstly want to apologise to everybody that I didn't upload anything at the weekend. I'm trying to do it daily, but I couldn't at the weekend. I have a really good excuse. Also, please don't mind what I'm wearing. This is my dressing gown. The reason why I'm wearing this is not because I'm ready for bed or lazy, but because I'm freezing cold. If you're in the UK right now, you'll know how cold it is. And even with heating on, you can't wrap up warm enough. Basically, the wife and I have had a horrific 72 hours. Saturday morning, we went shopping really early because we had some stuff to do during the day. We had the weekend all planned out. I was planning on doing a lot of study for uni. I was planning on doing 3 games videos for this channel. We go shopping, come back, and the wife says, right, here's 20 quid. Can you nip to the shop and put some electric on the key? I went and did that. I added my own 20 quid to it, so it's 40 quid. We live in a flat where everything is electric. We don't have any gas. Now, if you've ever lived in a house where everything's electric, you know, you have storage or convective heaters or convector heaters, whatever they're called, you have an immersion heater for your boiler. When you have dual fuel, gas and electric, it's so much more financially efficient. You actually save money that way. Quite a lot of the time it's because the company gives you a discount, or it could be that it's just the way that it balances out. But if you live somewhere where it's all electric, you end up spending more than you would do for a combined amount for dual fuel. A 1-bedroom flat like this can sometimes cost us £100 or more a month in the winter. We had something like £4.30 or something like that in the meter. So I went to the shop, put the money on the key, came back, put the key in the slot, and it was beep, 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 beep. What? This had happened a few weeks ago. The same error had happened. That particular time, we phoned the company, they gave us a code, we went to a shop, we got a key, got the code on the key, put it in the slot, and it worked. However, the key that we ended up getting was not from the company, not from the energy company with whom we are with. We were told by the people in the shop that all electric keys are actually universal. It doesn't matter who your provider is, they all work. We thought maybe we'd have to do the same thing again, but it's a bit unusual. It happened 3 weeks later. What's gone wrong with this key? So we were given a code. They couldn't find anywhere that had that same make of key, and we said, well, we were told before the keys are universal, and the person at the end of the phone said, really? I didn't know that. They couldn't find anywhere that had that make of key, so we had to go somewhere else where they had a different make of key. But again, we were told by the person behind the counter that, you know, it's universal. So I had the code with the £40 put onto that key. Put the key in the slot, nothing happened. Nothing. Didn't even acknowledge there was a key in there. Didn't beep, nothing. Tried the old key again, beep, 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 error. Put the new key in, nothing. I went back to the shop just to double check that the credit was on there, and it was. They showed me the screen, it was there. We phoned the company back, and they said, well, you should really use our make of key. You know, you're using a code from us, out of that company, on a key that isn't from our company. They phoned round some places and finally found a shop near to us where they had that make of key. So I walked up there. I didn't bother taking the car. While I was up there, I lost the slip of paper, the receipt for the first lot of £40 that we'd written the code on. I asked the wife to text it to me because the company that we did say to us, try using that code again. So I went to the shop. I said, do you have the key from that company? They did. They tried the code declined. At that point, the girl at the company phoned me on my mobile, like she said she would. She said, right, I'm going to give you another code, but you have to wait half an hour or so before you can go and get the key and activate it. So I went home, then went back to the shop again, gave them the code, put it on the key, fine, took it from the person, went home, and coincidentally on the way home, I found that receipt. It was in somebody's garden. I just noticed a piece of paper with writing on it, and it was actually on the back of the slip. My other half had written the address of the shop on there, and I turned it over. It was the right one, so I actually ended up finding it. We put the key in, nothing happened. In that time before I was coming home, the girl at the company had phoned my wife and told her, look, if this doesn't work this time, we need to get an engineer out to you. And we'd stressed to them, look, we're all electric. When that goes, we'll have nothing. And when we got home, we phoned them again and said, look, this is what's happened. We were told that an engineer can come out, but the person at the end of the phone said, there's nothing we can do. Said, you're in credit, you're fine. Excuse me, we're not fine. We've got £4. That sounds like a lot. but that would probably last us a day or a day and a half, and then we'll be out of electric. So then we'd have to get an engineer. We might as well get it now. But no, my other half really wasn't happy about that, and we ended up terminating the call. But within 30 seconds, we got a call back from a manager, which I admit was very efficient of them to do. This person seemed to be very reassuring. We were very upset at this point, and he said, look, an engineer will turn up, will most likely see that you're on credit and walk away. They won't bother unless you're out of credit or you're very, very low on credit. Now, all of this seemed very incredulous to us. Surely, if there's a problem with a meter, it's best to sort it out before something like that happens, because you're going to have to sort it out sooner or later, so it doesn't matter when you sort it out. But that's what he was saying to us, and he said, look, because that was a Saturday, he said, wait till you're very low in credit, say under £1, or I don't know if he actually said under £1, but he said, wait till you're very low in credit, phone us tomorrow because we are open tomorrow, which was a Sunday, and we'll get an engineer out. So for the rest of the day, we carried on pretty much as normal. We rationed the electric as much as we could. And yeah, the next day, after getting ourselves ready for the day, we phoned up. Their lines were not open at all. None of them were. We tried all the telephone numbers, none of them were open. The gas line was open, but not the electric line. I phoned all the advice lines that they said to phone. So we had no help that day. So I went to the shop and I bought a gas stove, some tins of food, like bread and some chocolate just to cheer us up, some drinks. Came home and we lit some candles. We turned everything off, everything, even the internet, the phone line, everything. We only left the fridge freezer running. By about 3 o'clock that day, maybe a bit later, we had 4 pence left. We were preparing for the fridge freezer to stop working and for us to not have any light or electricity or heating for the rest of the day. So we bundled up warm. The cats cuddled up with us, which was really sweet. They dealt with it really well because cats don't deal with stress very well, but so we tried to keep as calm as we could with them, and to be honest, they helped us keep calm. We had nice candle light. It was quite calm, and I had we had battery powered torches. So we're preparing for the fridge freezer to go, but it didn't. And the emergency that you normally get, the emergency £5, we couldn't activate that because the meter wasn't actually recognising the key. So there was something wrong with the meter, so we couldn't activate that. But then we noticed when we looked at the meter, it was going into negative figures and the electricity was still on. Oh, well, okay, well, we'll turn everything. We'll turn the telly on, we'll put the heating on, and, we'll, get warm, which we did. So the next day, today, the wife phoned the electric company this morning at 8 o'clock. So they said, right, well, an engineer will be with you. So the wife took the day off work. Where she works, it's a little bit more lenient, so that was better for us. About an hour after I left this morning for work, she texted me and said the electric had gone. So all the debt that we could have used had gone. She was there with no heating, no electricity. The engineer didn't actually turn up until 5 o'clock. So my other half was waiting all day for the engineer to turn up. If she'd known what time he was going to be there, she could have gone to work. The cats probably would have been fine. We'd have left them some blankets and bits and pieces. So when I came home, he'd left. The electric was on. It was great. He replaced the meter and activated the emergency £5. So the fridge freezer was starting going again. Luckily, none of our food spoiled. The lights were on and the heating was going. It was good. But the wife was on the phone to the company because the guy had given us a new key. But because the receipt that we had for the original £40 was 2 days old, he couldn't activate it. So we were on hold to the company for quite some time, and then we were speaking to somebody who took a long time to cotton on to what we were saying. Eventually he gave us a code and he told us to wait an hour, something we were not told before. So the other half went to the shop, activated the code, we put it into the meter, and it worked. I'm not saying that company did anything wrong with regard to that meter. It wasn't their fault that it failed. But they did mess us around. They told us they would be open that Sunday, and they weren't open. And also this morning when we told them that, they turned around and said, well, we were open. Well, you clearly weren't. We couldn't get through. We spent an hour trying to get through to different numbers and pressing different options, and it was all for gas. None for electric. What if you've got a, like my mum, for example, she lives with my brother now, so she's looked after, but she'll live on her own and she had no electric. I mean, she lives in a place where she has gas. What if she was out of gas and electric, an 85-year-old woman, and there's no out of hours emergency number? This isn't on. We were promised callbacks that weren't fulfilled. We were given conflicting information. We had to explain ourselves every single time. It was very stressful. We told them about my autism and that, you know, I don't handle stress very well, and we were very upset about it. You just don't expect a company to treat you like that. You don't expect your meter to suddenly stop working, and all these websites it says there's a problem with the key. Well, there isn't a problem with the key, there's a problem with the meter. I had to go a lot of toing and froing in my car. I had to buy some things. I was pretty damn fuming yesterday. I think I've calmed down a bit today. At least we know we've got a brand new meter. The key is working. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. And the key, yes, is registered to that company. That is my story about why I didn't upload at the weekend, and I really, really do apologise. Anyway, thank you very much for listening to this rant. I'm so sorry, my little berries. I'm sorry I wasn't there for you at the weekend, but Eryberrie's here all the time. Message me, comment, whatever. I try and reply to as many comments as I possibly can. It's not always possible. Anyways, thank you very much for watching again, and I wish you all the very best. Mwah! Love you.